going on YouTube? It's September 22nd today, first day of fall. I wanted to show you guys what the food forest looks like and how everything else in the property is doing. Still getting cucumbers. Finishing up now, you can see, but I'm still getting some. We've gotten so many cucumbers this year. It's been an incredible year. Production in general has gone up at least 10 to 20 times. Echinacea, some of them in the front are starting to flower. Echinacea right there. Grapes have done amazing. Everything's just done real well this year. I'm really impressed. Incredible amounts of yield this year. In the garden now, still getting tomatoes, which is awesome. This might be the last round of tomatoes because I don't see that many flowers, but it's still great getting fresh tomatoes in the fall, even though I'm actually pretty sick of tomatoes because I've eaten so many this year. This nectarine has done great. Had an amazing year. Really proud of that one. I think it's going to be a great tree. This hazelnut also did really well. Should get some fruit from it next year. It's showing some great signs. So more in there. That's what will pollinate the tree, the fruit, so it'll give me hazelnuts next year. I'm really confident that I'm going to get some on that one next year. Overall, just really happy with the progress and everything, especially with the little amount of maintenance I actually do in here, the little amount of weeding and everything. This persimmon tree really has popped up and done great. I'm expecting big things out of this tree next year as well. And, like I had talked about earlier, the yield this year has been incredible. Such a huge yield compared to other years, maybe 10 times as much, maybe even more. Really incredible. And every year the yield's going to be higher and higher, because not only because I'm refining the system and the system's growing every year, which is becoming more productive, but also I'm learning more every year. So yield is really just based on information, guys. The more you know, the more you learn, the higher your yield. I don't know if you can see that spider web in here. It's a huge one. Beautiful. Spiders keeping everything in the garden safe, keeping a nice balance in here, which is really what we strive for with the food forest, is balance. Also focusing on a total system yield, not just a tomato yield, even though we had a great year this year with the yield of tomatoes and peppers and all that, but a total system yield. A yield of fertility, a yield of food, you know, just overall yield has just been great. Really happy with it. A lot of the trees have just done really well, and seeing great things in the future. The grapes have taken over like the whole garden. It's just so cool. Hanging underneath there in the shade, it's a lot of fun. Look at that Santa Rosa plum, guys. It's a actual tree now. That thing is just huge. 25 feet up, I say it is. This apple tree got huge. Just a lot of the trees just taken to the next level. I think some of it has to do with how I'm guiding the trees. I'm going to talk about that in another video, but I'm not babying them. I'm not neglecting them. I'm guiding them, so I think that's made a huge difference. Look at the size of that Bing cherry right there. I think it's massive. So I should get a good amount of fruit from that next year, especially with all the sweet cherries that I added in recently to help pollinate. Sweet cherries over here. This cherry's done well. So the other new one I put in. You can see the shade back here right now. Now that we're into the fall, the sun has really dropped down, so south is facing that way. So this mulberry here really provides some shade for the garden at this time of the year, which is good, because in the high production part of the year, when the sun is straight in the sky, this gets more sun back here. But you can see how I focused everything in certain locations. Something like carrots that doesn't need as much direct sunlight. Arugula, I had lettuce back here. That's what gets planted here. So it's done well, putting everything in their particular locations and getting the right environment for everything. Got a lot of carrots. I'll wait for the temperature to drop so they get even sweeter. Here's a second pear I just put in this year. Actually got a pear on it, which is cool. It's always nice to get fruit. I think this is the Black Boy peach. So this one just went in this year too. Raspberries really just performed well. Raspberries were a little small this year though. It's the only thing. I think they just didn't get enough water at the important fruiting time. We just weren't getting enough rain and stuff. So it's something I'll have to work on. The amount of eggplants in here is crazy. so many eggplants, so I'm gonna have to give some of them away. Luke from MI Gardener kind of inspired me. He gives a lot of stuff to the soup kitchens and stuff when he has extra, so I think that's gonna be something I'm doing. I'm gonna go through today, harvest a lot of the stuff, and then anything that I don't want or I can't give away to like my friends and family, I'm just gonna give to the soup kitchen. And look at that peach tree. That is the most beautiful tree, peach tree that we have. I think that's really gonna be just huge production next year. But sweet at the end, real good flavor, so fresh, you can taste the freshness.